Hi guys, welcome to the next day of our 30 days of minimalism and mom life tips. Today we're answering another reader question from a lady in the name of Kristen. And this is Kristen's question. I'm going to read this because it's a longer one. I think my biggest frustration is all the stuff. What is the best way to manage, eliminate, prevent, and deal with all the toys? I can feel guilty over getting rid of things when I have younger ones who will grow up to the point of playing with said toy. With 6 kids, birthdays and Christmas add up to a whole lot of stuff that I feel like I'm picking up or shuffling around, yet I want to buy gifts for them and have quality toys to play with. It's just overwhelming, managing all of it and getting more and more stuff from us and from others. I hear you, Kristen. It's a bear. The desire to keep the good stuff and still be able to give gifts to our children, and yet let their younger siblings play with the old favorites, these are all perfectly valid feelings. And I go through these on the regular with my crew too, because I've got 5, you've got 6. It's a lot of kids. So let's dive in. You mentioned overwhelm in your email. That's a key point. It tells me that you aren't able to live with things as they are now. Shuffling and reshuffling the toys, also unproductive. Ask me how I know. And you've been feeling the frustration as you pick up there are too many things yet again, over and over again. Your first step is to accept that your feelings about this are valid. That whenever you feel overwhelmed, you get to do something about it. It's not a case of, well, I should be more accepting of gifts, or I should tolerate birthdays better. No, you're the mom, plain and simple. Your intuition has pinpointed a problem in your household. So we're going to fix it. Okay, jumping right in. I want you to brainstorm a list of anything that might help you feel on top of the toy situation. If you had a certain number, 1, 3, 5, bins, shelves, or containers of toys, maximum in your household, how would you feel? So, how would you feel if you had 3 bins of toys? How would you feel if you had 3 shelves of toys? How would you feel if you had 3 containers of Lego maximum? Play around with the numbers, play around with the container storage, a bin or a shelf, something like that. See how you feel about each number. If presents were limited to 1 or 3 or 5 for those birthday and Christmas occasions, how would it make you feel? Again, future pace, imagine. 1 present per child. You're only allowed to give them 1 thing. How does that feel to you? What if you up the number to 3? What if you up the number to 5 and said that was for everything, your presents and their presents combined? How does it feel to you? That's going to be some very valuable information. What about if younger siblings were gifted the age-appropriate toys from the older ones, when it's been long enough that the older ones don't want them anymore, and you donated the previous ones after each child outgrew them? How would you feel? Would you enjoy gift-giving more? If you let yourself have a free pass to donate everything that your extended family gives you, and just have a couple days or a couple weeks after every birthday and Christmas to say, this is like your Happy Meal toys, only it's from family. You get to play with them, no judgment, no whatever, and I know I'm going to be sweeping in and getting rid of these mostly inappropriate toys that don't fit with our family aims and purpose in a little bit. How does that feel? What about family or group gifts, where multiple people combine on one bigger item or one thing that's meant to be played with most of your kids? A Lego set for your boys, as opposed to saying this particular boy gets that set of Lego and he's allowed to say it's only mine and none of his brothers play with it. How does that align with your gift-giving intent, or does it make you feel restricted and uncomfortable? Just let it all out here. Nothing is stupid. You want to get to the heart of what feels good for you and what conversely feels uncomfortable and restricting for you. So, present numbers and gift-giving occasions. Does that feel uncomfortable right off the bat? If yes, ask yourself why. There should be a reason. And is it that you didn't get enough gifts as a child and someone implemented that policy for you? Or is it that it sounds restrictive, but actually you're thinking of something like only 3 gifts, and you would never want your kids to only have 3 gifts too? Maybe you don't mind the concept entirely if it was an upper limit like 5 or 7 gifts per kid. You just don't want a really minimalist, okay, they can only allow 2 gifts on their birthdays, And again, how does it feel to say group gifts? Does that remove the specialness in your opinion? It's just boring. What about saying that you're going to make sure that your family gifts, the ones you and your husband pick for the kids, are the really good ones, and you don't care what anybody else gives your kids? You're not going to be uptight about what comes in the house because you know you can also get rid of it. So you will make sure your kids have something that's in line with your family values, something they'd enjoy, that fits with both, and you're not going to care about whoever else gives them stuff because you can always get rid of it. They gifted it to you, it became yours. Now you get to make the rules. And how does it make you feel about space limits? Not whether you dislike the idea on purpose, but how much space makes you feel like that ought to be enough for my kids versus I feel like this is too restrictive. And remember, always go one level deeper. So if you say, I feel like 3 shelves of toys is too restrictive, ask why. Is it because you had that few toys? Or that many toys, and it wasn't enough because there was one more set of toys that you had? Is it all the Lego too much to fit on there, and you don't want to deprive them of their art and their dolls and whatever else? I mean, some of the things that come up are going to be very valid reasons. Some of them will be probably childhood things that you growing up have internalized, and now you're putting on your kids when actually it's something from you. And then some of them are just going to be plain out, oh, that's why I think that. Okay, actually, I guess that's not really applicable in this situation. Okay, and then you move on. Also, consider, does it feel okay to you, good or bad, to get rid of toys when your kids are gifted something new? Do you like saying, oh goody, here's the new art kit? What if they already have an art kit and the pencils and crayons are still like 3/4 used? Have 3/4 left. Does it feel good to you to say, we have a new art kit? Hooray, kids, we get new things. Does it feel good to you to say, no, we don't waste, we don't throw it away. We're going to use the old stuff and store the new one? What feels like the good response? And if the good response is, we have something perfectly good, we're going to gift someone else this new set, that's fine too. So here is what I think might be your key. Limits. Whatever you decide on, whatever method you choose, you must set limits. What do I mean? You're going to implement space limits, X number of toys, bins, shelves, that sort of thing, and present limits. How many presents per occasion are okay with you? What are you going to do about the influx of stuff? Obviously, you can't keep up piling more and more and more in your house, times 6, times 2, birthday and Christmas, because logically speaking, the math says then that you've got 12 different sets per kid that are coming in. And who knows how many gifts your kids are typically getting, and that is a lot of stuff per year. So no wonder it is so overwhelming for us as mothers when we're getting that amount, multiples of 12 in your case, coming in every single year. So you're going to set a new family policy. Your son can keep 3 shoe boxes full of toys, and any new gifts for Christmas count, for example. Maybe your family policy is he gets 2 shelves. He has a bookcase in his room and he gets 2 shelves of those that he can have with his own. Full on bins, whatever, all his toys fit in those shelves. And if he gets more, he gets to come to you and choose. Least favorite, gift to someone else. Space limits will help you from feeling like your home is getting swallowed up by kid things. That means that your son will have to go through everything twice a year because the birthdays count just as much as the Christmases. And he gets to choose if he's old enough. Now, you've got some little ones you can pick for them because you see what they play with most often. But as soon as they're, maybe 5 and up, depending on their maturity level, and you'll know as mom, let them express the opinions. And it's just a simple, honey, we can't fit any more things on this bookshelf or in this bin. You see how they're falling over the sides? We can't put any more stuffed animals in here. Or see, the Duplo is too much. We try to slide the bin on the shelf. It won't even go in because it's too high. We have to take some out for it to fit. Young kids can understand that. So they understand why you're saying this literally physically does not fit and we have to do something about it. If now, the question as the mom that you have to decide is, do they have the maturity to say, okay, my favorites are this, this, and this, and that one's less favorite, or are they emotionally attached all the time that you have to step in and say, honey, let's try it out. I notice you haven't been playing as much with this. I'm not getting rid of it. Let me just put it in the garage in a box for a little bit, and we'll see. Well, I let you play with all these things, and now everything will fit on your shelf, and we'll see how it goes. And if you really want that one back and you find out that one of these is not your favorite, we will trade. We will switch. I'm not getting rid of it. This is just an experiment. So that's one way. Or perhaps you want to have a shared toy shelf in your family. We kind of do a half and half hybrid system. We have shared toys on some bookshelves, and then we also allow especially the older kids to have personal toys that their younger siblings are not supposed to be getting into, chocobo parts and all that. And anything on these shared toy shelves is something for everyone. You know, you might not want to say the blocks are only for son B and son D is not allowed to play with the blocks. They're all of an age to play with the blocks. You're not going to buy a separate block set for each of them. Everyone gets the blocks. It's a shared toy. But we do have to set limits on shared toys as well as the personal toys. Okay, also, so basically what I'm thinking is you either do favorites when you get these new gift-giving occasions, saying, okay, your relatives just gave you these 5 different awesome new toys. Now, in your house, do your kids tend to say favorites, as in my old toys are the tried and true, I have played with them for years, I just love this truck, this fire engine makes the greatest noises, sorry mom, these are my favorites, and I just got given this helicopter and mini fire truck and an ambulance. Now I'm going to play with all those too for a little bit, but really the old fire truck is my special love, and I just really like it more than anything else. So that's one kind of kid. And another kind of kid says, ooh, shiny, new. Forget about whatever else I had. This is the new stuff, and it pretty much always takes precedence. So for that kind of kid, you can probably say, let's temporarily box up your old toys once you come back on Christmas with all the new stuff, and you set all the new things out in your toy bins and bookshelves, put the others in a box in the garage, and then you let it sit for a few months, and if they don't ever ask for the old toys back, that's fine. And then at Christmas, you repeat. And birthday, you repeat. Same thing. And then your kids prefer the favorites method, you switch. You say, these are your favorites, the old favorites that have been tried and true and vetted. These are your new Christmas toys. If they are really playing with a particular toy all day, Christmas, day after, you leave that one out, and then you box up the new ones and see if they ask for it. Kind of a flip-flop. Or, again, you can let them put the whole conglomerate together and say, okay, you only have space for half of these. You get to choose what mix. I've just noticed that some kids tend to be all new things, and some kids tend to be all, oh, this is fun for, 3 days or 3 weeks, but I really like what I had before best. Okay, so you pick which strategy works best for you. In the end, though, you're going to need 2 things, the space limits and the present limits, because especially with 6 kids, limits are crucial. Because you are deciding how much of the house's storage you are willing to devote to kid things and toys, and also what your gifting policy is as a family, what feels good. I mean, policy maybe sounds a little too official, but what is your gifting value as a family? How many items, what kind of items, and do you tend to go for keep the new items, or do your kids tend to favor the old ones that they've had fun over years and years with? Which strategy sounds lightest and most life-giving to you? What numbers of bookshelf and toy bin limits? What numbers of present limits? What strategy sounds lightest to you? And in the end, it all comes down to you. So brainstorm a little about this, see what comes up, and remember to ask why, going one level deeper to say, I really don't like present limits, why? Or saying, I really like present limits. Why? The added knowledge will help you pinpoint your family ideals that much faster. Okay, I will see you tomorrow with another tip. And as always, if you have any more questions about this, email me at hello@yourbunbusylife.com. And if you have something else you'd like me to make a video for you about, I would be happy to do so. I will see you tomorrow, guys. Have a great day.